This is a continued update on my AR-15 build. I might mention that I'm building this in my house, and that should alleviate some concerns some might have about building an AR. You don't need a shop or a workbench or anything like that. And you don't need, well, I should say you don't need special tools. You do need some tools that aren't special. But I'll cover that in my last video. Anyways, for this video, I am installing the Magpul trigger guard. And Magpul doesn't send, by the way, that's $9.95 at the local gun store. If you try to get it on Amazon, they'll charge you about $8, $9, and $8 shipping. So that isn't flying very well in my mind. Anyways, also a little complaint I have about Magpul. It's not that big of a deal, but I had to buy Allens. I bought a Husky Allens from Home Depot, if that matters. I needed a 1/16 Allen to get the screw in, because they don't use a pin on the front of this trigger guard. They use a screw instead. I'd already installed this once. I tried to do a video on it, but it took too long and you couldn't see it very well, so I just deleted it. And now what I'm going to do, since I already have, after that video, what I did was continue the installation, and now I'm going to uninstall it and reinstall it just to give you an idea. The problem I had in the first video was trying to get the little tiny screw in the front part of the lower into the hole, because it's small and the hole didn't line up very well with the trigger guard. You had to move it around quite a bit in order to line up the hole. So anyways, here I go. Oh, by the way, the recommendation I heard was a 1/16 punch. I'm using an 1/8" punch. I only have a rag around the back of this. I don't need a bench or anything like that. So I'm going to take this out, hopefully. Taking the roll pin out. Maybe I'll use a smaller pin now. I don't know if that's going to work. There it is. Yep. Move the camera. The roll pin fell out. I don't know if you can see it, but it is. I did peen it to taper it down so that it would go in initially easier. You might be able to see that. It's called a roll pin because it's a little piece of metal that's rolled. Let's see if we can get this in the camera. Okay, there it is. It's going to take time to focus. It's rolled, and let's see if I can find the seam. Where is it? There's the seam right there. I don't know if you can see that, but it is rolled, and I peened it right around this end here really pretty good to tighten it up. And I peened it a little bit all the way up, less and less and less and less, and then I was able to hammer it in a lot easier. Okay, setting the roll pin aside. Oh, by the way, the punches were about $5, I believe they were. A 1/16, 32nd, and an 1/8 from Home Depot. I point that out because Home Depot is the easiest place to run and get parts from. Tools from. Okay, so here's the Allen. I don't know if you can see that. There we go. That's a little better. That's a little better. I guess I'll try to hold it up and unscrew it. I don't know if this is going to work with the camera in the way. Okay, so all right, there it is. Okay, there's a couple problems with this. The screw is really small and lining it up is kind of difficult. There's some of that anti-seize on this thing, and that kind of sort of makes it a little bit more difficult. Here I'm going to remove the trigger guard. It does line up now. You do have to do a little adjustment like this. Anyways, there's the trigger guard. Now, one other thing is, their threads don't run all the way through this trigger guard. Let's see if I can point this out. The threads only are at the very end. You can see that little tiny bit of chrome, silver looking. Let's see, let the camera adjust. You can see it right there. So there's only a couple of threads. The threads don't go through and through. Okay, so anyways, back to the installation. It's a lot easier the second time, and the third time, and the fourth time, and the fifth time, so on and so forth. Okay, here's my screw. I know what I'm up against. I hope that lines up. Yes. Okay, so the thread took. So what happens is, I think, and I can't be sure of this, that the anti-seize builds up like a little booger on the end of that. It makes it just a little bit more difficult to do. Okay, I'm screwing this down now. Now, some of the other videos I've watched were all helpful. All the videos have been helpful, but some of them didn't go far enough, and some of them cut out some of the time it takes to do different things. This one here, I'm running all the way through without cutting it because I want you to see how long it takes to do this. So taking it in and taking it out so far has been, 7 minutes. Wow, that's a lot. Okay. All that talking. Okay, anyways, here's the roll pin. I'm going to try to wrap this up. And I hope it lines up. I'm going to put the, face the slit in the roll pin down. Okay, see, I'm just using a rag. I wouldn't even have to take my upper off. But because I'm doing it on the floor, because I'm doing it for the camera, I took it off because it did present some problems getting close enough and working safely with it without banging it on the floor. Okay. Okay, so now I'm hammering it in. I knocked off a little chunk of my finish there, so you got to be careful. This is not a show gun, so I'm not really concerned about that. I can touch that up with a little black paint. I'll touch this up with a little bit of paint. Also, this is my hand, my painted grip. Anyways, that's about it. I hope it was helpful. I tried to make it as short as possible. That doesn't always work. But you got the idea. Have a good one. Adios, YouTube.